Welcome to the Black Girls Heal podcast, where we talk about changing unavailable relationship patterns, healing unresolved trauma, and building a healthy relationship with first you and then others. Every episode, we will talk about actionable advice that you can apply today to break unhealthy patterns and grow your self-worth. I'm Sheena Tubbs. Let's begin. Hello, loved ones, and welcome back to the Black Girls Heal podcast. So I'm batch recording my podcast episodes today, which means I'm recording several episodes in one day. And I don't know what order this episode is going to be in, but I just called y'all loved ones. And I'm very excited because I feel like I finally found our name for our community. And so we are loved ones because we are all healed and loved women, because we are all dearly loved, because we are cultivating relationships that fully embrace that God-given right and privilege that we all have. And this came about when I was writing the intro and the worksheets for our Loved Women Planner. And it just organically came out because I was just referring to the reader and giving them instructions. And I called y'all loved ones. And I was like, that's it. That's it. So in the two previous episodes that I've already recorded, I did not refer to you as loved ones. I still said ladies, which is, I guess that's fine. But I know I have non-binary folks who listen to the podcast. I know I have men who listen to the podcast. So I hope that loved ones fully embraces all that we are here in the Black Girls Heal community. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this week's podcast episode. So this episode is coming directly from something that I hear a lot in the comment section of different posts and replies to the newsletters and the inspirational text every week is regret or shame or embarrassment about missing red flags in their relationships. And so this isn't just romantic relationships, but just missing red flags in friendships and other relationships as well. And feeling like that is evidence that there's something wrong with them or feeling very hopeless around it. And what I would love to do in this podcast episode is give you 3 things that you can do when you have missed red flags to help you feel more empowered in the relationship and in the decisions that you make going forward. So let's jump right in. The first thing I want you to remember when you have missed red flags and you're in relationship with somebody or at the beginning of a relationship or you've been in a relationship with them for a long time and the red flags are happening, I need you to first be kind to yourself. I need you to be kind, compassionate, and loving towards yourself. Now, if you have heard someone say that before, that can be really hard to receive because one, it could be like, well, I'm being nice to myself and I'm still here. So maybe I need a kick in the pants, right? Maybe I need someone to just lay it down straight. But here's my guess of what's happening. My guess of what's happening is you're saying that you're being nice to yourself, but actually what you're doing is in your head, you're already criticizing yourself. You're already talking to yourself about how stupid you are, about how you shouldn't be here, about how you're wasting time. You're making up stories that people may or may not have even said to you about what they're secretly thinking about you and how they're looking down on you. And so you're actually not being kind to yourself, like at all. So that's the first part. The second part is wondering if you're clear on what being kind to yourself means. Being kind to yourself does not mean giving yourself a pass to go and be self-destructive. And being kind to yourself also doesn't mean coddling. You know, for some of us who grew up in settings where people weren't very nice to us or that we were motivated by words like you need to be stronger or you can do this or, you know, don't be weak or you had to be very independent. Kindness is equivalent to you with coddling, with enabling, with really pacifying and making you seem very immature and like you're a child. And that's not what kindness is. Kindness is all about seeing you as a full human being, acknowledging that yes, you have growth areas and yes, you also have strengths as well. It involves seeing you as worthy and seeing you as deserving no matter what is going on in your life. If your whole life or if access to love is only dictated to how close to perfection you can get, in other words, you have to be perfect to be able to be deserving of love, then you are going to go your whole life, right? Like without being able to have access to that love and to that compassion and to that care, because we don't ever reach a place of true perfection. We reach a place of self-acceptance. We reach higher levels of maturity and of wisdom. We become more aware of how to take care of ourselves and take care of other people and remain balanced. But as long as we are in human skin and human bodies, perfection doesn't happen. In the same way that I effectively and perfectly, quote unquote, handle a conversation with someone who's a client is the same day that I snap at my son 5 minutes later, or the same way that I show up with like grace and strength at an event and speak so clearly and I'm really great at educating people is the same moment that I see someone in a cute dress across the room and I have a little twinge of envy. There's always that up and down ebb and flow that shows us areas, that reveals to us areas that we get to grow in. But it's not a deficit on your character. It's not a deficit on your worth. It doesn't reduce what you bring into this world unless you decide that it does. We are the ones who determine whether or not we are worthy, right? So we come into the world already deserving and worthy. And if we secretly feel like we're not enough and we're not deserving, we're the ones who are going to push it away. No matter how much it comes at us, we're going to throw it right back out. And so going back to the first thing for you to do, if you've been missing red flags and you've been feeling embarrassed and you've been feeling stuck and feeling like you're on this hamster wheel, I want you to do something different than maybe you've done before and maybe be kind to yourself and how you're talking to yourself. And maybe that support is actually what's going to help you break the cycle. Because instead of you feeling like, man, I'm so stupid, I'm not enough, that makes you feel like you can't get a relationship outside of this, or makes you feel like you've already been here enough, like you might as well stay, or it makes you doubt your strength to actually stay away, so you still stay. Like all of these things that take away from your actual inner strength and inner power. Maybe if you're actually supportive to yourself and kind to yourself, you might actually want to do something different. You might actually believe that you can do something different. You might actually start to feel deserving of that positive, different life on the other end by starting to give to yourself the love that you wish others were giving to you. So I don't know about you and the journey that you've had to build consistency in your relationships, but the roller coaster of over-attaching to people and then hiding from relationships after disappointment and heartbreak is exhausting. And sometimes you can feel as if you're trying your best, doing all the things, only to end up in a dead-end relationship or confused if there's something you're missing about what you're doing wrong or what you're bringing to the table. And so because of that, in our 6-month coaching program, From Avoidant to Available, we help single women clear the path to develop and nurture healthy relationships with available partnerships, with available friendships, with our special high-touch hybrid approach combining group coaching, community support, and private coaching check-ins. If you'd like to get off the roller coaster of being either addicted or avoidant in relationships to become balanced and available, feel free to learn more at our website by going to fromavoidanttoavailable.com and apply to join us in the next cohort. The second thing related to if you have been missing red flags, I need you to understand that there is nothing wrong with you. Now, this is where this is going to cause some self-reflection for myself as well to make sure that hopefully that I am more clear as I teach about this in the future. But something else that I see often, and not only like here in the Black Girls Heal community, but in other communities as well, people will use phrases I've used, like I'm the common denominator, I need to figure out what's wrong with me and why I keep attracting these types of people. And especially over the last year, just that wording has just kind of like grated on me. Like I hear it and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. There's no problem with you as a person. What is happening is you have learned a certain way to pick people that is external and outside of whether or not you are deserving of love. So you are a beautiful bouquet of roses, of long stem red roses. And someone has taught you that it doesn't matter how you're displayed, just the fact that you're roses is fine. And so you've become accustomed to just being put in these little rinky dink containers that may have holes in them. They may be chipped, they may be dirty, but you're still a beautiful bouquet of roses inside of this container that does not deserve you, does not deserve to hold you with all that you encompass, right? And so what your healing process is actually learning, oh, wait, there's other containers I can be in. I can be in a glass crystal vase. I can be in a beautiful white porcelain container. You start to realize, oh, wait, this isn't the other option. And you understand that I have always been roses, and I'm just bringing my rose self into this higher level version of where I should have been this whole time. So for you, if you're missing red flags, there is nothing wrong with you. Like there's no rehabilitation for you to help you become more deserving of love. What does get realigned is your belief and whether or not you deserve to be in a crystal vase, to be in this white porcelain container, and also how you may fight being in that container, right? You might start to get really thorny. So many of us, and I'm going to milk this metaphor, so stay, so buckle in. So many of us, will get into healthier places and healthier relationships and healthier containers. And we're so used to the old stuff that we'll fight it. We'll pick fights. We'll be argumentative. We'll look for reasons why it's not going to work out because we've become more accustomed to that old way of life. And so that's the unlearning, not whether or not you're undeserving of it or you're not beautiful enough to be where you want to be. I hope that metaphor made sense. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with you. And I want to make sure that we are not mistaking self-accountability and taking ownership of our choices with self-deprecation or self-loathing. Those are not the same. One is I make bad decisions because I am bad. And one is I can make better decisions because I deserve more. Okay. The third thing I want you to keep in mind, if you find that you have missed red flags, is no matter where you are, no matter how long things have been happening or not happening, you get to choose how to respond at any time. At any time, no matter what has happened, you get to change your mind. You get to change the cycle. You get to do something differently. It doesn't matter if you've already slept with them. It doesn't matter if you already went off on them and raged at them. It doesn't matter if you've been holding a grudge against them for a long period of time and not talking to them. It doesn't matter if you have cut off 80 million people. At any time, you get to say, you know what? This doesn't work for me anymore, and to change course. You get to apologize. You get to reconcile. You get to break up with them. You get to block them. You get to date somebody else. You get to try again and try to move forward. You get to try to rebuild the friendship. You get to end the friendship. You get to ask for your money back. You get to change your mind at any time. Anytime. And so I want you to not feel stuck by the decisions that you made and feel like you're beholden to them, because you're not. You are the captain of your ship. All right. So this episode was just short and sweet. I just wanted to pop this in here for you to remember, for you to be able to come back to if or when you need it. I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you can share this with someone who you might think needs it, who may be stuck in a cycle again with someone with red flags and they're feeling hopeless and they're feeling like, I'm never going to get out of this. And yes, sis, you will. You will as soon as you decide that you are. It's really that simple. As soon as you decide that you are and you're committed to that process, that's it. That's all you need. So that's it for this episode. I'm sending you all love to my loved ones, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, so thanks for listening to today's podcast. If you enjoy what you learned today, it doesn't have to stop here. Check out the Black Girls Heal website at blackgirlsheal.org for more resources to help you heal from intimacy disorders like love addiction and love avoidance. The best time to start or restart your healing journey is now. You can grab a free copy of our 5-step roadmap to heal love addiction, love avoidance, and love deprivation by going to blackgirlsheal.org/roadmap. And if you're on social media, feel free to follow us at Black Girls Heal on Instagram and Facebook.